Alright guys, here to talk about the trailer for the movie The Bouncer, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. A sign of true quality, because it'll appear on iTunes, 1/11/19.
Oh, in theaters and on iTunes. So
Yeah,
it'll
but
be in one
you
theater.
can ignore that
Yeah.
because, exactly. In theaters just means it's in at least 2 theaters. On iTunes
Does
means
it have to be
this is a poor
Can it just be
product.
one?
Well, it has to be plural.
Oh, theaters.
Yes.
Theaters.
If it said
Okay.
in a theater, which
Well,
would just be insult them.
That'd be pathetic.
I would pay the extra thousands of dollars just to avoid.
In theater.
Yeah.
And on iTunes. And it's like Jean-Claude Van Damme's personal theater at
Well,
his
if you were
house.
going to do that, it would say theatrical release and on iTunes.
Yes, you could hide it better.
Yeah, you
Yes.
could do a lot more.
So it's Van Damme. It's an action movie. I assume he's a bouncer.
Yes, that would be something I would glean from this. My thoughts on Van Damme are he was amazing at one point.
Yeah.
Took a dramatic dive, drug related.
Really?
And then seems to have come back in pockets of interesting things. And something about this could be good.
Was he in The Expendables?
Did he have a minor cameo? There were so many that I can't even recall.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's hard to narrow it down.
Like,
No,
it would
like,
not surprise me at all. Like, he should have been there if he wasn't.
Okay. I'm not sure where to place him because yes, he was in some of those movies back in the day, and I feel like not as bad as Seagal, but he became kind of a joke at some point. And
But
it
at
was
least
like,
Seagal was more
not
steady. Like
serious or
Seagal, a huge joke. Agreed.
Yes.
Like where he
not necessarily about.
he shouldn't even be doing the things he's doing, but he never stopped. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
if anything, he may have ramped up as he got older.
Yeah, he made it was like a steady decline and like no lack of data points to like chart that decline. It was
Yeah.
like a complete thing. I didn't know Van Damme had like a drug thing though, so maybe this is
Unless I'm super off base, I
Yeah.
could have sworn he had a problem with cocaine.
hey man.
But who didn't? Let's
man.
check it out. I don't know. So
I don't know either.
My problem with this is that it almost feels like too much of a movie, but not a film, and it's not a popcorn, like, oh, look at this shit kind of movie.
Right, it's
like
like-
it
it's like
falls
dark.
too much in the middle of the line, and some of that is definitely because the language swap. Like anytime I got to read something, you've already lost a couple of points.
Let's dive into that. It's almost like a bilingual movie.
Yes.
There's parts like I turned up the volume right when it turned into like French or whatever the fuck, and I was like, wait, were the first lines in English? I thought I couldn't understand it. What's going on here? Because Van Damme is multilingual as far
Yes.
as I know, right? So that may be an answer to what's become of Van Damme. Perhaps he's been doing like foreign language action films, and we haven't
It's
been
possible.
keeping track because that stuff happens.
But he's a big enough name that anything you did foreign would still get released here.
would
I don't
think,
think they
but
would ever exclude the option to make
that
more
subtitle
money.
barrier is always a thing.
They could dub him.
But he's looking good.
He looks good, but he also, he also looks his age.
Yes.
Which,
But I'm getting like an old Arnold or like an old Stallone vibe from him. He seems like a grizzled old action fuck.
the
know?
issue, and not to say that he's not still a physically, capable
I have no
man,
idea.
is that when you have your Arnolds and like your other large later, like they're still large people, and when
Yeah.
you are a person known for being nimble and quick and this and that, and again, not to say he can't do those things, but when you don't visually
And we
draw that from
We're not really shown it here.
No.
When the trailer ended, I was kind of shocked because I expected there to be more.
I thought there would be
in
an
the trailer.
unfold. That's why I say, because it's not quite a film where it tried to have that, like, you don't know what's happening. Look at our vagueness. We're a movie. But it didn't really do that for me. And it didn't have...
You're using a movie and film interchangeably.
Well-
when we mean to say, right, like a movie is like Transformers or like Fun or whatever. And
Yeah.
a film is like The Piano. It's like we are crying and it is sad and this is deep and
Exactly.
means something, whatever, right? So, yes, this trailer kind of...
It rides a weird line where it's not
it's,
quite the action epic that you're used to with a...
Right.
An epic isn't the word, but like popcorn, fuck this kind of movie.
It hints at like he's being pulled back into the game and things are spiraling out of control and he's in over his head and he's involved in this criminal underworld that doesn't, oh, who's that? Hey, man, you'll be fine. He's like, oh, I don't know, my daughter, is all these things happening, right? But, yeah, it doesn't really...
And there's no
good on that or
one-liners.
whatever.
There's no like things like that you would expect from this kind of like, I must protect
Right.
my daughter. I made him Russian. I don't know.
Let's protect my daughter. Jean-Claude Van Damme. No, yeah, exactly. I totally agree. Because this is like even shot and like color graded, kind of like a Bourne movie.
Yeah.
But like in the Bourne trailer, he jumps through that window, he rolls up the magazine, and starts Krav Magaing the guy, and you're like, oh shit, and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's
and
shot serious. Like
that,
you can see, it's taking itself seriously. But I don't know if that's the best angle.
Yeah, I'm a little upset. I wanted this to be like a campy, dumb action thing or whatever.
And like I like the idea of like 60-year-old Van Damme beating the shit out of a bunch of bouncer people in a basement, but
yeah,
I don't know that if it's as fun for me as like maybe 20 years ago this would have been.
Or this could have worked if it was more of a John Wick type thing or something like
yes.
that. But it's not really going for that, I think. It's weird, right? Was the trailer short? Was the trailer unusually short?
I don't think it was crazy short. It was over a minute. But
yeah, it's like 90-second trailer. It felt really short. It felt
like
I didn't really have
not a lot
to go
happened.
on or whatever, yeah.
I don't know. So I can't really say I give this a thumbs up. There's nothing that's really drawing me in that I'm like, oh, I want to see this. Aside from like the broad sense of the concept and Van Damme himself, things that like I'd typically be like, oh, cool, yeah, guy doing this thing. But either it's him or the combination of it being a multilingual movie that's hurting it.
Yeah.
But I think like. To take away from all that, it's just that it's broad. It's like it's too broad. There's not something that I can focus on as to why I want to see this. There's just some general concepts that I'm like, oh, those could be good, but I have no reason to believe this is going to be anything better than the next movie. No,
yeah, I completely agree. Like my interest level after seeing the trailer is not that much higher than just hearing Van Damme's in a movie. I'm like, I should check that out, right? I guess
the trailer did nothing for it.
I'm slightly more curious just to figure out how much of it's in English or not, because this is a strange concept to me. Because usually, like even a movie set in like the Mexican drug cartels, it has some Spanish scenes with subtitles, but then is mostly English, or vice versa, where someone might have like an American that they have to talk to, but it's like like a French film or something like that.
Yeah,
and I don't know I have no idea where this is going at this point. So
no, not sure, but
yeah,
I like how you phrase it though. If you would have just said there's this movie called The Bouncer with Jean-Claude Van Damme, I probably would have been as interested, maybe more interested,
possibly
than
more.
actually seeing the trailer.
Right, because you might have expected, walking tall levels of bouncing happening or something like that.
Something
good. No, yeah. So like curiosity alone cannot earn a thumbs up. I think that, as a trailer, this is pretty mediocre, and I wish Van Damme the best.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's our thoughts on this. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.